Hey everybody, Matty here with Altcoin Buzz. Happy Thursday. If you're like me, you're running on fumes right now, but also just on pure adrenaline. What a crazy stretch it has been. And in today's video, we're gonna, briefly, you guys are probably already up to speed on what's happening with Bitcoin. Of course, we blasted through 20K, we blasted through 21, 22, and now 23K. We're consolidating in the low $23,000 range. Everything is moving upward. Bitcoin is the tide that is lifting all ships. We're going to be running through a lot of altcoin news today, probably the most info-packed video we've ever compiled. So bear with me here, and do be sure to check below for timestamps because we're going to be jumping around a little bit with multiple projects in the altcoin space. Right now, I'm very happy to report that the total market cap is up 11.6%. The total market cap, $668 billion. We have that $1 trillion mark in sight. That's for sure. So that to start off with, that video that you saw right off the top, that was from an initiative that Zilliqa put forward. It's now a couple days ago, that teaser, but you can see that Zilliqa has performed extremely well these last couple of days, kind of flattening out now, but really the news yesterday is highlighted here in their tweet. Telegram's most advanced botler, Zeeves, now in 3D, is set to unveil new rewards and functions in its loyalty program from 14 exciting partners. We will reveal one partner a day starting tomorrow till the 30th of December from A to Z. So if you're not following Zilliqa on Twitter, it's simply at Zilliqa. Be sure to do so. In fact, I'm going to do so right now because I'm not getting my updates. And, you're going to be, I guess, getting a sense of what those partners are up until the 30th of December. So very good news for Zilliqa. Obviously, we've been seeing a lot of positive price action for Zilliqa as well. And this is what we can expect to see going forward. Obviously, we're covering Bitcoin quite a bit. We want to remind you guys that AAX and Altcoin Buzz are jointly giving away $200 worth of Bitcoin. And I'll get to why we're covering so much of Bitcoin in just a second. But in the meantime, if you want a shot at this $200, number one, like and retweet. Number two, follow both Altcoin Buzz and AAX Exchange on Twitter. And finally, reply with any fact or opinion about AAX Exchange. This is one where you can just check off the boxes so easily. You guys have a few more days. The contest is running to the 21st of December. You have a free chance at $200. You may as well throw your hat into the race and give it a chance. Why not? Best of luck if you choose to enter. So on that point about why we're covering Bitcoin and the significance of Bitcoin as it relates to altcoins, let's take a look here at CZ Binance. He kind of puts things in perspective, and this is kind of the framing that I'm also currently sharing. So as I mentioned, we blasted through 20, 21, 22, now 23K, and we've retraced a bit. We were on Binance at least in the high 23K range. As you can see here on the Bitcoin USD futures chart, peaking actually at $23,888. So I guess we've crashed since then to the low 23K range, but at that point, does it constitute a crash? So CZ puts it in perspective here, Changpeng Zhao, waiting for the new headline. Bitcoin crashes, quote unquote, from $101,000 to $85,000. And maybe one day we will be hearing about that headline. We saw a $3,000 Bitcoin candle yesterday, guys, in the last 24 hours. Now it's getting, to the point where I don't want to be too optimistic and be too cavalier or foolhardy, but we're in uncharted territory now. Bitcoin could legitimately go to 24K, 25, 30K. It could also drop to 15 or 14 or 12K. I mean, right now, this is uncharted territory. We don't have any benchmarks against which to make, an educated guess as far as technical analysis. This is a price discovery mode, and so technical analysis can be more or less thrown out the window, at least in my opinion. I think some TAs will disagree, but that's how I see things because, again, we're in uncharted territory. Binance here is also reminding us that there's good reason to be optimistic, cautiously optimistic, but remain optimistic because so much of this influx of capital right now has been institutional in nature. So while Bitcoin is making new all-time highs, interest in Bitcoin is still relatively low compared to 2017. This is according to Google Trends. And as you can see, in 2017, that was really peak FOMO when Bitcoin reached just below just below $20,000. It's because so many people were looking up the terms, so many people were kind of jumping in, weren't really prepared and didn't know how the ecosystem worked. Now it's very different. Now you're talking about institutionally driven driven price action, which is going to filter into the masses now. Bitcoin has been trending on Twitter, on all kinds of other platforms. It's being covered by the mainstream media. More and more people are going to get into it. Expect this interest in Bitcoin as a search term to increase. And if you are not following our price signals, guys, you are missing out. Altcoin Buzz IO on Twitter, we called the targets for Bitcoin if all-time high breaks. And so far, hitting the targets like clockwork. We also called the XRP and Bitcoin Cash drop. Know more about the targets here. You can check out our link to the article there. But make sure not only that you're checking out our publications on the website, altcoinbuzz.io, make sure you're following our trade signal Telegram group. I'm going to link to that. And in fact, I'm going to pin that in the comments below. So make sure you join that discussion. It's never financial advice, but if you want to be part of a group discussion where like-minded people can talk about their observations, maybe perhaps what they think is coming next. And it's always an opinion, so take all those opinions with a grain of salt. But that is a good place to join an informed discussion on trade signals. Again, look for that Telegram link in the description, in the comments below, as well as the description, but I will pin that to the comments. The reason that we've been talking so much about Bitcoin lately is because Bitcoin is the tip of the spear. Yes, our namesake Altcoin Buzz refers to altcoins, and altcoins are important. Altcoins are our bread and butter, in fact. But Bitcoin is what drives everything. Bitcoin is the tide that either raises or sinks all ships. And mark my words, we've been saying this now for years, ultimately, but we've been saying that once Bitcoin hits all-time highs, once Bitcoin kind of levels off a little bit and lets out some steam, the capital is going to flow outward into altcoins. And now, I think, again, cautious optimism, we're seeing an even better scenario where you have simultaneously a Bitcoin bull market and an altcoin market, whereas they always used to kind of be discrete occurrences, roughly speaking, in the past. Now they're happening at the same time. I think that bodes very, very well for the upcoming altcoin bull cycle, because if they're performing this well already, can you imagine what's going to happen once that Bitcoin outflow of capital, once that capital starts dissipating into some of the smaller projects? Guys, we're seeing it already. We covered Wing Finance, for example, in a recent review of the platform. TVL, by the way, is doing very nicely indeed here on Wing.finance. Take a look at them just today, up 29.6%. And I'm not encouraging you guys to go buy up Wing, but it's just an example of a project that is soaring right now. And it boggles the mind of what is yet to come. Find me any space in traditional finance where anything close to this is possible. 30% returns in just one day. Don't like Wing Finance? How about Litecoin? Up 18.7%, now over $100 and breaking new ground above that $100 mark. XRP. Heard about that project? 59 cents right now, also up over 18% in the last 24 hours. Guys, Ethereum is coming up big. And once Bitcoin, again, lets off that steam, once the dust starts to settle, it's going to be Ethereum's turn. And once it hits above $700 or so, it is off to the races. And then once Ethereum subsides, some of the smaller altcoin projects will get their day in the sun. It's all going to trickle downward. It's going to cascade in a brilliant waterfall of wealth distribution for those that have been patient, for those that have hodled in this space. And for those that have been paying attention, it really comes as no surprise. We've been covering this now, incremental steps, incremental increases in interest now for months, if not years. We covered the Mass Mutual news just the other day. These guys are a conservative company. They're in the life insurance business. They're not speculators. They're not hedge fund investors. Mass Mutual Life Insurance. For God's sakes, they just invested $100 million into Bitcoin. And this signals, as JP Morgan, as Bloomberg has pointed out, a significant widening in, number one, the credibility, the legitimacy, but also number two, the interest in Bitcoin and by extension, cryptocurrency assets, the broader altcoin market. This signals a widening in institutional interest. It is validation, guys. Once again, congratulations. Pat yourselves on the back for getting through this extended bear cycle since 2018. If you're still here, if you haven't given up, if you haven't quit, you have the grit that is required to succeed at anything as far as I'm concerned. Kudos. Okay, with some of that cheerleading out of the way, I want to discuss some rapid fire updates in the altcoin space. Bancor, at Bancor, which has just been on a meteoric tear lately, add them to the list of overperforming altcoin projects in this early altcoin bull market, I suppose. They're thrilled to announce that Bancor are now integrated with Matcha XYZ, powered by 0x project. And you now have the ability to swap directly from your wallet, matcha.xyz. Read about it more on matcha.xyz. Simple crypto trading for everybody. We also have news regarding KardiaChain and THETA Network. By the way, THETA Network, if you've been following THETA, holy cow, did these guys ever have a bright future full of potential? And it just gets me giddy thinking about what's going to happen to THETA in this upcoming altcoin market. So KardiaChain here, this from a couple days ago, actually. We haven't covered it. There's so much happening in the space, guys, but this is something that you need to be aware of if you're fans of either KardiaChain or THETA Network. So KardiaChain and THETA Network join hands to blockchainize billion-dollar industries of live streaming and esports. Vietnam expects to have about 10 million esport players in 2021. Wow. And live streaming becomes a major e-commerce channel, at THETA TV. Users now have a complete experience on KardiaChain esports, including the ability to predict the winning team, donate to their favorite team, watch related videos, and follow their streamers of choice and earn rewards by creating engaging content. THETA TV, #mainnet, #esports. Talk about an exploding industry, guys. That is only going to get bigger, and I think KardiaChain and THETA are both on the right track here. Kudos. And we now interrupt this altcoin news to bring you this quick update on institutional FOMO, courtesy of CME Group. So Ether futures are the story here. CME Group to launch Ether futures on the 8th of February 2021. Remember how I was saying that once Ethereum climbs above $700 and eventually it'll be above $1,000, then eventually it'll be at a new all-time high. And once the dust settles for Bitcoin, it's Ethereum's turn. Remember how I was talking about that? Are you beginning to see that things are really starting to play out? It's almost just a perfect storm of potential price action and new all-time highs. So Ether futures to expand CME Group's robust crypto derivatives offering for institutional traders alongside CME Bitcoin futures. Quote, based on increasing client demand and robust growth in our Bitcoin futures and options markets, we believe the addition of Ether futures will provide our clients with a valuable tool to trade and hedge this growing cryptocurrency. That is a quote courtesy of Tim McCourt, CME Group Global Head of Equity Index and Alternative Investment Products. Ethereum is the second largest cryptocurrency, of course, by both market cap and daily volume, and the introduction of listed Ether futures to our time-tested, regulated CME Group derivatives marketplace will help to create a forward curve so Ethereum market participants can better manage price risk. Breaking bulletin number 2 here on institutional FOMO. We're on CoinDesk.com. Ruffer Investment confirms massive Bitcoin buy of $744 million. Remember, we talked about Mass Mutual just a moment ago, investing $100 million. Get this, 744. So this is UK-based Ruffer, which I've not heard about previously, full disclosure, but they confirmed the size of a tremendous Bitcoin investment from November in an email to CoinDesk. Quote, Ruffer's exposure to Bitcoin currently totals around £550 million, equivalent to about 2.7% of the firm's assets under management, a spokesperson told CoinDesk. The investment was, quote, primarily a protective move for portfolios to, quote, act as a hedge against some of the risks that we see in a fragile monetary system and distorted financial markets. Guys, I've been shouting this point from, the hills and the rooftops, but traditional bond markets, gold, precious metals, all of these traditional safe havens and so-called, hedge assets are failing. And the US dollar, unfortunately, is failing. That's the result of quantitative easing. We're not yet in hyperinflation mode, but arguably that's because people aren't spending their money. The volatility and the velocity of money, the velocity of money right now is very, very low, meaning that the economy is stagnated, and this is obviously the effect of COVID. This is the situation that we are dealing with. However, personally, I've been pretty vocal about the fact I totally disagree with what's happening in the economy right now. Monetary policy and fiscal policy, at least. So, not to go off on a complete tangent here, but when a firm like Ruffer says we're putting $744 million into Bitcoin because that is our new safe haven asset, holy cow, talk about a turning point. Okay, back to a little bit of altcoin news once again. We're talking about NEM, a NEM airdrop here. So Poloniex is going to support XYM opt-in token allocation and listing after the mainnet launch. You can get the details here on xt.com exchange. Check that out for more information. And continuing along rapid fire with our altcoin news, COTI at COTI Network, that's COTI. We are delighted to announce COTI debit cards and bank accounts. COTI users will be able to store fiat natively in their COTI Pay wallet and spend it all at any merchant that accepts major cards, both online or in store. The application is now open. You could read more about it on medium.com, announcing COTI debit cards and bank accounts. I mentioned it just yesterday, guys. There are so many options available in this space. Personally, my favorite is crypto.com. We've been working with them for a long time. That comes as no surprise, but I'm a little bit platform agnostic, and my message to you is shop around for what you feel is going to suit your habits as a consumer best. But for God's sakes, take advantage of something. The crypto cashback, some of the different staking rates, the APY, you cannot find that anywhere else in any traditional banking space. It's impossible. It doesn't exist. It's only something that is native and inherent to crypto. So if COTI is something that you'd like to explore further, check out the article, but for God's sake, sign up with something. Make sure they're reputable, make sure they're safe, but you got to get in the game. You got to boost your crypto game, and this is how you do it. Speaking of one of the great ecosystems in the game, let's talk about Plutus right now and PLIP, so exchange listing PLU on the KuCoin exchange. Pretty big news here from medium.com. In September of 2020, we announced a token awareness campaign aimed at increasing accessibility of the Pluton PLU token. We can now reveal the arrival of another tier 1 listing with the Asian-based exchange KuCoin. So this happened actually today, the 17th of December at obviously 2020 at 10 a.m. UK time. We now have an active listing for USD PLU pair. You can read more about that here on trade.kucoin.com. You can also read about Plutus, but I'm guessing that you as a viewer of this video, you're already familiar with Plutus, Pluton, PLU. By the way, you can check out our video yesterday about updates to the PLU Visa card, another great ecosystem to enter into, and you can avail yourselves of all of, again, the perks as well as the rewards that are available with that system. But Plutus right now, Pluton rather, PLU, doing very well indeed, up 6.2%, now at $5.76 on the back of this news. And here's some news regarding MahaDAO IDO, which has gone live, and at the time of this recording, I'm actually told that the IDO has been successfully done in 3 minutes. So this is something that I kind of compiled, I put together, but we're obviously there's a delay in terms of producing the videos, recording, editing, and then publishing. So as of right now, the IDO, I'm told, has been done in 3 minutes. This is a big deal for a lot of other reasons. Again, MahaDAO Public is what we're talking about here. It's a major deal because it's a DeFi protocol that is tapping specifically into Polkastarter for the IDO for the purposes. So some key highlights here if you haven't heard about this development, but MahaDAO will be holding its IDO on the 17th of December. So it's already happened, unfortunately, but we do want to highlight the significance of this occurring on Polkastarter. MahaDAO features a 2-token system. Number one, the governance token, Maha, M-A-H-A, and the value coin, ARTH, A-R-T-H. ARTH is designed to maintain its purchasing power over time, in contrast to stable coins that lose their purchasing power to inflation, because even a basic stable coin like Tether, we think about that as stable, yes, in relevance in terms of cryptocurrency, related to cryptocurrency in that context, but it's still pegged to the US dollar, which is ultimately an asset that is inflating as time goes by. What is unique and interesting about MahaDAO's configuration is that it's the only project with a basket that contains both Bitcoin and gold. So very visionary in that sense. Quoting here, MahaDAO is creating the way forward for new kinds of stablecoins to grow. Some of these stablecoins will solve real-world problems like inflation in the fiat markets and the volatility in crypto. With ARTH, we are launching the MahaDAO platform with the world's first value coin. MahaDAO is already earning the title of Indian maker, and for good reason. They're kind of pioneering a lot of firsts here. You can read about it further on cryptodaily.co.uk. MahaDAO will host one of the first IDOs on Polkastarter. And again, at the time of this recording, it seems to have terminated, and very successfully. So that very first IDO on Polkastarter was successfully done and executed and implemented in just 3 minutes. So This is one to keep an eye on, guys. I think there are some very good ideas here that are obviously garnering a lot of positive attention. We will be reporting more on the Indian maker, so-called, very soon. A couple of more quick updates, then I think we can call it a day. We have Injective Protocol here at Injective Labs. This from a couple of days ago, but worth highlighting. Injective launches the world's first yield farming derivative. Now anyone can earn chain-agnostic yields across popular Layer 1 protocols such as Ethereum, such as Binance Chain and Polkadot, with zero gas fees and a simple trading interface. No time to dive into this one, unfortunately, but check out the article on medium.com. We'll link to that in the description below. We have some Kraken news now. Bitcoin Magazine on Twitter, at Bitcoin Magazine. Bitcoin Magazine exclusive. Pierre Rochard of Kraken announcing Kraken's intentions to roll out Lightning Network support in the first half of 2021. Read the full story here. Big news for Kraken, this on Coindesk.com. The exchange will purportedly integrate Bitcoin's Lightning Network in 2021. Is it ever a good time, guys, to be in crypto, to feel validated, not only kind of to rest on our laurels, because as I mentioned, we've been in this space for years now, and many of us have indeed suffered through a multi-year bear market. So it's one thing to kind of to reach the summit and look back and be proud and be happy. But I think we're in a much better circumstance in that there's so much yet to still look forward to. We look at 2021, we look at 2022 and the years beyond, the decades beyond. I think we're only just getting started, guys. Bitcoin is in a price discovery stage. Again, the sky's the limit, the moon's the limit, the stars are the limit. And beyond that, altcoins, as I've discussed earlier, as I've broken down, altcoins will follow. So call me cautiously optimistic, call me over-enthusiastic, whatever label you want to slap on it, that's fine. There's so much that is happening in this space. It's like drinking from a fire hose. All of these stories today, I've barely been able to condense them. There's 10 times more that I haven't been able to touch. So with that in mind, I wanted to just close off with this quick take here. Altcoin Buzz.io on Twitter. These are some of the projects, our top and most covered alts, as it were, of 2020. There's some great projects here. Quant, Engine, Chainlink, Crypto.com, of course, Zilliqa, Cardano, Polkadot, Chiliz, VeChain, of course, many others here. I'm not going to go through all of them. These are some of our favorites. Let us know in the comments below. Either tweet us or in the comments of this YouTube video. Which ones of these are you most excited about? What else would you like to see on this list? Because altcoin season is going to be epic. It's going to melt our collective faces off into a puddle on the ground, guys. So let us know if there's something that we're not covering. Point it out, type it out, let us know in the comments below. We will do our best to feature it in detail, guys, in upcoming videos. So quite an exciting time to be alive, guys. Make sure, keep up to speed. Number one, with our Telegram chat. Again, that's going to be pinned in the comments below, but make sure you're following us as well on all the social media channels. Keep checking back into our website for the latest altcoinbuzz.io. Guys, like, subscribe, share, hit the bell to receive notifications. If you guys enjoyed today's video, it does help the algorithm. Best of luck if you choose to invest, but be careful, everybody. Stay safe, and as always, we do hope to see you again soon in our next video. Take care.